Welcome to Vision Pros, the show all about spatial computing, visionOS, and getting work done on the Apple Vision Pro. I'm Tim Chatton, host of the show. Welcome back to another episode of Vision Pros. We're joined today by Ethan Sherbondy to dive into the development scene in visionOS 26. It's about a month and a half from launch, so just checking in and seeing where that's at. If you'd like to support this podcast, you can do so over at visionpros.fm/Patreon or by subscribing in Apple Podcasts. With that, here is my discussion with Ethan. Enjoy. Welcome to the podcast, Ethan.
Hey, Tim. Thanks for having me again.
Absolutely. I'm glad we could find some time. I know you've been doing a lot of travel, good opportunities to do some panoramic photos to relive in the Vision Pro.
Yep, absolutely. Still a little bit jet-lagged. I just got back from a trip to Italy. It was a lot of fun. Got to check out Cinque Terre and a few other spots that I had never been to before. Took a lot of panoramas. Have been converting a lot of photos to spatial scenes.
Nice.
In 26, which has been pretty delightful. And I've been pretty blown away, honestly, by what it's able to do on device so quickly. And that Apple is like ratcheting up their capabilities.
Yeah.
At least, yeah.
I wish the next step, I want 3D panoramic conversions.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know how that would take like 5 minutes a photo to do.
Full on environment.
Exactly. Yeah, great.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think we'll get there. I think stuff like that is just a matter of time, honestly.
Did you travel with the Vision Pro, or was it?
I did. I did.
Okay.
Being founder of a company that's building in the space, it is strictly necessary. If we want to do like an emergency patch release or get something out the door. So I used it a little bit less than I normally would have over the past. But yeah, I mean, it's an exciting time getting to tinker around with visionOS 26. So had a few moments during the travels where I was pulling out the Vision Pro and testing some things out. Definitely.
Nice.
Yeah.
And the plane ride, I'm sure, was much better with it on.
Yeah, although I am still a little bit
self-conscious with that one.
Yeah. On a short flight, I can't be bothered, but yeah, on these long haul cross country flights,
right? Yeah,
I think it is one of these things where it almost comes off as you just got a sleeping mask on. It's not quite as your standard sleeping mask, but it can pass for one. Maybe.
Have you? Yeah. I've gotten to the point where it's kind of dangerous. Where at times I'm just so comfortable in the Vision Pro that I've fallen asleep before while watching a movie. It's like I'm in bed already. It's like oh gosh, it's 3 a.m. Let me take this off because I was probably asleep for a half hour, an hour here. Yeah, because it's like afterwards. I don't know, because the band setup I have with the Belkin top strap, it's just like it's very comfortable now for me. Oh no.
Okay, yeah, that's great to hear. I've been still. I think maybe we talk a little bit about this, but so my conundrum is I use the developer strap since the game I really do. I'm doing the wired transfers for a build cycle, and it has been harder to find like facial interface modifications that are also compatible with the developer strap. But
because does the Belkin strap not work with that? The Belkin top strap, The
Belkin strap I have yet to try out, and I really do need to. But this is the thing that really, I'm showing Tim.
So with the developer strap, you have a wire coming out of not just one side but both sides, basically.
Yes, exactly. And this thing really protrudes a lot. But maybe it would be okay. I don't know.
Yeah, I need to look at how it actually connects because I thought I forget how it connects. I forget how it did both sides. It definitely works with I don't know. That's the thing with the developer strap is like it's pain enough it's pain enough in the butt to have the wire off one side, but having a wire off two sides like.
Yeah, this is one of my number one requests for next generation hardware is to have a USB data port. Like if we're gonna have the charging port and all that entails, if we could just do data transfer over the battery
pack. It baffles me. They didn't make the port on the battery pack something developers could use to interface with the device. Like why the hell couldn't they figure that part out?
Yeah, there's all sorts of complexity that I as a lowly software engineer factoring in here, but I would love to see that change.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'd even love just a mid-gen update. Here's a battery pack that can do data.
Oh yeah, I mean that would be incredible.
Be nice. Yeah, we'll see if the M5 update or M4 update has any tweaks to stuff like that. The battery pack that could retroactively apply to the first gen hardware.
Yeah.
Yeah. How excited are you to get an M4, M5 version? Like, as a developer, is that something like, man, it's expensive, but man, I'd like to have the added performance?
Yeah, I think of it in terms of what capabilities get unlocked with a new chip, and in terms of how we could push the envelope with rendering, in terms of like graphics capabilities, like the M4 and M5 rumored.
Because I'd imagine as developer, you would definitely need to support original hardware. Because if they don't change the price point, I have to. It's my hunch that the M4 or 5 won't sell very well. Like even in relation to the original. Like I feel like until there's a major hardware revision or a price drop, like the original will actually be your better install base.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would imagine it in terms of a lot of AAA games. Or even like mobile casual games. They'll expose some graphics fidelity knob, and it would be a thing to play around with. I mean, as a consumer, thing that I'm very excited about is again, I think it would be strange for them to already be bifurcating their software experience. But one thing that is lacking in visionOS 26, surprisingly lacking, I would say, is for all of the talk of Apple Intelligence, like visual understanding of your surroundings is something like this is the frontier of augmented reality, of like true augmented reality, doing intelligent things in response to what you're seeing in your environment. And that's something that maybe the headroom of a new chip would actually enable. But again, it does feel like one of those things where, it would be quite weird if only the new Vision Pro spec bumper vision gets like some new Apple Intelligence capabilities.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, I would be very excited about that because like on this 10 plus year arc, like these frontier sort of augmented reality capabilities are the thing that really like get me excited to like leap out of bed in the morning and build stuff.
What kind of things would you hope to see with it understanding your environment better?
Yeah. So I mean, we start to see in visionOS 26 like more intelligent use of the scene mesh that the device is already collecting. So like the snapping of windows and volumes to
the widgets. That's how that all works.
And the widget persistence, and the persistence of the widgets is incredible. And
as long as it's not pitch black, it doesn't like the darkness because the LiDAR only goes but so far.
Yeah. But there was that accessibility updates announcements that preceded Apple's developer conference. The announcement was I think a week or two before WWDC, where Apple showcased these features that were geared towards people with different needs in terms of being low vision, or potentially having full blindness, and being able to explain what is in your surroundings, and put that into audio, and likewise enhance what is in your surroundings. So like magnifying, being able to zoom into having hyper resolution of real life.
Yeah, because there is a zoom ability. I've tried out accessibility, and the cameras just aren't there where that's a good experience.
Yeah, so there are these hardware limitations, but there are so many exciting things you can do when you are able to really start to seamlessly mix like what is out in the world in front of you and the virtual. And so I mean, people point at things like live translation overlays. So like the translation app that is built into your phone or Google Translate, doing those live overlays in real time like directly onto your surroundings.
Yeah.
It's a big task, but like most of our real life environment, we are surrounded with text and signage. And yeah, I mean, you could say like in your indoor personal surroundings, like if it's your own home, like for the most part, that feels a bit superfluous and silly until this is a more glasses form factor device that you'd actually be wearing out in the world with you. But still, there are a lot of exciting things at the frontier that you can start to push at and explore from that lens that I would be very excited by. But I think it is one of these chicken and egg sort of thing where it's like, well, first of all, yes, the form factor is limiting these use cases really making sense. But there are other things on the input fronts that maybe we talk a little bit about last time. Like we discuss like inking and doing like pen input for your Vision Pro, but like using physical objects
and
in
we
front
have
of
the
you.
Muse now coming from Logitech. And I also noticed you're more in the VR space than a lot of people I talk to. Logitech has a similar product available for the Quest.
On the Quest.
Do you know anything about that one?
Yes. So I don't personally own an MX Ink right now, but I got to try at a few trade shows and have played around in the context of some productivity apps like Shapes. They did a really nice integration. And it's incredible. I mean, having a 6th-off spatially tracked stylus is incredible. And I'm actually personally, I'm a lot more excited about that than the PSVR 2 controller support.
It seems like PSVR 2 controllers will only be useful for gaming, it appears. Like there's not much system support for like making it's just a better experience to navigate the system in any way. There's no like cursor in the system. All you get is the PS button gives you a home button basically, like it does in the DualSense, and the joystick lets you scroll, which is the same as you would if you held any other controller.
Yeah. I mean, I am very excited to be frank, like about that as well, just because it let us have more parity. So that since we are building a game with table space and we've been doing more controller support on the Quest, having that level of parity across these devices is great.
Nice. And like synth riders will be people who have never played synth riders with like the PlayStation controllers. It's a much different experience where you have the haptics as you're riding the waves, and then once you get off, like it's such a it's way different.
Yeah, and table tennis and all sorts of fun gaming experiences. I think it's going to be amazing. But from a creative expression point of view, having a spatially tracked stylus is amazing.
Now, I'm curious. So apps never lay flat on a table. Could someone conceivably write an app where I'm writing on a virtual sheet of paper in front of me?
Absolutely.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah,
what would the interface be like for that? You'd have the paper in vertical position in front of you where you can write down on the table below you kind of thing?
Yeah, you could. I mean, so there is actually a pretty nice rendition of this in the Vision Pro App Store that's using just like finger tracking.
Okay.
And it will lay out, maybe we can have in show notes or something. The developer, really nice job, and I'm sure they're just going to run with it once the Muse stylus is out.
So that developer's figured out how to have a sheet of paper like virtually on a table in front of you kind of thing? Okay.
Yeah. And it's achievable today.
Do you have to be in a volume for that, or how does that even work? Because most apps, if you know Vision Pro, they're all in front of you. It's kind of hard to put something horizontal.
Yeah. So you could use a volume, and then you can also just go full mixed immersive app. And at that point, you can place geometry wherever you want, and you can also do full hand tracking. So they're actually using the hand tracking, so like direct finger touch input.
Yeah.
And like once you're actually tracking the individual skeletal joints, then you can do really precise collisions and just have the thing anchored to the table, have that lined up really nicely, and then you're just finger painting on the table at that point in time.
That's cool. Okay. Yeah.
Using a style, of course, increases the precision even more, gives you more fine-grained control. You get to do like pressure-sensitive input, all sorts of things. So I think that'll a huge
cool.
boon. Yeah.
And the Quest one has like an inkwell thing. Is that just for charging, right?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe so.
I would love this notion of, I've talked about this on iPad Pros, the notion of your digital pens running out of ink, and you see like a fountain pen that's low on ink, or a dip pen where you see
there's a visual
where you see the middle of it is like on a fountain pen you'll have the edges still have ink, but the middle portion you pushed it too hard and there wasn't quite enough ink to keep up with your stroke. I'd love something like that virtually.
Yeah, some next level skeuomorphism.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think that's a really exciting thing. We can make these digital physical objects. Having these little attachments and ornaments and feedback from this physical thing that's telling you about its state in the virtual world.
Yeah. Now in the 3D realm, tracking 6 different ways or whatever, what kind of applications do you see cool with the Muse there? Because I've seen like some finger painting apps where you're like, which is very wild, but you're just drawing in the middle of the air. That's fun
in space. Yeah. So I think like Tilt Brush way back in the day was a pioneering app in this category. And there's I think also one called Gravity Sketch in Quest and in the PCVR world. And then there's like that Google acquisition of the Tilt Brush software, and it became open. And then recently, over the past few years, this project Figmin XR, the creator of that has this, I think it is built on top of OpenBrush, and they have been going wild, building all sorts of interesting things and allowing you to do, spatial painting and modeling in free space and creating, like spawning these virtual objects into existence and then giving them behaviors. And then they become like programs essentially and have interactions and all sorts of exciting capabilities. And I think that's, people are just going to blow the top off of that as we have this spatial input. It's really exciting. You can do sculpting in the air, right? And 3D models and do also like CAD, like true CAD sort of workflows. I think it's like for like more productivity style applications, it'll be an amazing capability.
Imagine like OmniGraffle, where you could have it mounted to the wall where you're sketching.
Absolutely. Out. Even just like recording to the nth degree, right?
No, with widgets, I would love a whiteboard widget or just locked there. I could write on it, but that's not what the widgets are allowed to do right now, right? It's displaying. It's displaying existing content. All you can do is you can tap it widgets, to play and pause, I believe, right? That's about it as for interactivity.
Widgets have some limited interactivity, but you can do like button-based interactions. I think like if you wanted to get really clever with it, you could go far with just a few push button interactions and like maybe one thing I've been keen to experiment with is if you would be able to do like something like Tetris in a widget, probably not with the refresh rate. But
because it's weird with widgets, the clock refreshes every second with that the hands going around. I don't know if that's an Apple thing where Apple gets a refresh every second, but like do third-party developers get that same refresh rate? Do they not care? Because on like iPhone and stuff, there's battery concerns. It seems like they just know all Vision Pro owners are just plugged in to power at all times. Like that's kind of how we use it.
Yeah. So this one I would have to get back to you about what sort of refresh rate you can guarantee. So I know the system also provides like an animation stack. So even if you're not able to drive like real-time update, you do fluid animations in a widget.
Okay.
But in terms of like scheduling a granular, like I'm gonna hit a re-render of my widget like every second or every fraction of a second. I would have to get back to you on that, honestly. But it's something I've been for. And then I mean there are all sorts of like gaming scenarios that are more asynchronous. So like correspondence chess is something that we are genuinely intrigued about having some sort of offering that lives inside of a widget.
That's like the thing you see in movies where someone's playing a game over the course of months back and forth.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I think that's a really wonderful use case for visionOS widgets, and
it totally is. And imagine this whole shared, where two Vision Pro owners are seeing the same thing someone else is. Like, I'd love if shared widgets became a thing and you could share the chessboard in that way. But I guess if you're if you invite someone, you could like share it within the app, and it could do it that way. But in the future, I would love shared widgets. So some widgets are like household widgets. Anyone in your family group would see the widgets that you see, kind of thing.
Oh yeah, so it's just tracks, and it lives on a wall, like your or your to-do lists or the grocery list for the house.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that'd be neat.
I am really personally very excited about the local share play capabilities in visionOS 20, kind of dovetailing from that. But it is one of these things. Again, it's this chicken and egg problem where, well, first you have to live in a world where, and this is probably true in certain like enterprise scenarios where there's actually a whole team, or a team of developers that are all living, breathing, building vision apps as what they do. But where you're actually in a room where there are multiple people in person, all with Vision Pros.
Like I'm not sure how many within I might be the only one in the town I live in that has one of these things. I don't know. It's highly possible it's true though, because I'm not in a big city.
But this is that 10-year game that Apple is playing.
Yeah, you need it there for the future when hopefully this is more widespread.
Yeah. When some third generation hardware device comes out a few years down the line, hopefully, and we start to see the beginning of that more mass market adoption, and the form factors get slimmer and slimmer year over year, and then it really starts to make sense. And then it's very exciting that we had this capability, and we've been able to build with it in mind, and the prospect that an application, a game, some interactive experience that we build today, going back to that shout out to Nintendo that you made. They're so adamant about like having that software continuity path. That's something that really excites me. If I could build a Vision Pro tabletop experience today, and then 5 years down the line, someone is able to run it on their incredibly slim form factor glasses device and do in-person multiplayer experiences, and it's all just seamless and feels like magic. Like that's a very exciting prospect if we can get there.
Improvements to just the standalone glasses have been kind of remarkable. I need to try these things out, like the Virtue glasses and the X-Real. They seem to be improving at a pretty quick rate, and I really am I'm tempted to have a pair at some point for the Switch of all things. Like that could be fun.
That whole category of display glasses is a really interesting one. And we are seeing X-Real is partnering with Google now on an Android XR device that will supposedly be launching in 2026. I think it's called
It'll run Google's XR platform?
Yeah, so it'll be an Android XR device. I don't know, exactly
quality-wise
how
and all that,
the hardware specs are going to land and field of view and weight and all of these considerations. But I'm really excited about that device personally. And we do have the full intent to target Android XR with table space and building. And that, just to have that really pocketable form factor device. So excited about that future.
Yeah, that'll be interesting because the challenge with, I guess those are mostly currently products that are just screens. And the computer part of it is a challenge, I'd imagine, for them to miniaturize that and have and also it just being a screen, you're plugging into a power source, I'd imagine, right? There's no onboard battery, or is there?
Yeah, so they have done kind of different variations on this. So there are display glasses where it's powered, and data transmission happens over a single USB-C cable. And that works pretty well. X-Real has also shipped basically a compute puck sort of device that's
right.
it's like split sort of form factor, and also can be used for input to some extent. And yeah, I do see like that category of device starting to converge with these headsets.
Yeah.
And like there are a ton of things in the rumor mill around several hardware products. Like Meta has a supposed planned product release for next year, targeting that in between form factor.
Okay.
Like very, very as you can get glasses with compute puck, but still using pass through.
Right.
Yeah. Whereas those actually have like transparent optics. What Xreal has been doing, like dimmable transparent optics, and it gets complicated. But
yeah. In Apple, they would have a custom chip that is like in the brim of the glasses, just this very long and narrow computer chip that's like no one else could make, is kind of what I would probably see them doing at long term.
Yeah.
They'd like figure out some. Well, we've got the V2 chip that's whatever 10 centimeters long, and it's this very tall and narrow thing that can fit in a brim, glasses stem or something.
Yeah, I'm very hopeful that a company that actually integrates hardware and software could pull such a thing off.
Yeah, so we'll see. Yeah, how that space shakes out. It's intriguing though. It's such a new space relatively to everything else.
Yeah. But in the year 2025 and 2026 with visionOS 2026, I see tracks being laid at least on our stack, and it's that there's a lot in there.
What has in the development scene, what was the reception, I guess, to widgets in general? Like, do you think we're going to see some pretty creative, cool ideas come September from developers?
Yeah, I think there has been a lot of enthusiasm, and I guess part of this is just like being a nice citizen of Apple's platforms. And so there's an element, like some other things in visionOS, where it's like, okay, like we needed this yesterday. Like all the other devices support this, and I'm glad that we have a take on widgets that is especially well suited to this device. Like the persistence of your space, the insetting and the outsetting, it's all very fun.
It's so fun having the music widgets on the wall. You just tap it. Like it's just so great.
The poster art vibe is so great. I personally would love to see a little bit more capability for 3D content, given that you are essentially just doing more planar traditional 2D content with a cool bevel and a cool inset.
Like spatial widgets next year would be so cool, where on your desk you could have like a globe or something. Like
I would love that personally. I think that there is maybe some resistance from Apple, like design around like digital trinkets, digital junk cluttering your desktop, or however they want to phrase it. But I personally would love that and would be very excited about it. But it is great to see this happening, and it gives you opportunities as a visionOS developer. I think like one of the things that we struggle with for any headset is like having the software be top of mind for a user of the headset. And there are two aspects of this. One is when you actually have the headset on. So widgets address this very well, right? So like my software does not have to be running in the foreground for you to be reminded of its existence. If you care about it and you feel compelled to put a widget that'll show you, that your friends are in a game room and they're playing the game that you like to play, and you can just click that widget and hop in and join them. That's very exciting.
Because having a reminder, I should be doing this.
Yeah. Or there's like a regularly scheduled events. Like we do like play sessions with our community of players like every week, and we'll probably do more frequent ones at a certain time. Like having that co-presence, because that is such a powerful thing in these headsets. Having opportunities and outlets to basically advertise and showcase like something's going on in this software, in this game, in this experience. If there's a live event in some media, some concert app or some live performance app, right? These are very, very wonderful things to be able to offer. But there is that whole other aspect that I feel is still not yet well addressed, which is when you're not wearing the headset and having outlets to do that same thing when you're out, and to encourage people to, okay, like, because there is a lot of there's a lot of friction to put on a headset, right? You have to place the right time, but to have these little things that encourage you and remind you, oh, it's worthwhile. You're like, okay, it's worthwhile to put on the headset now because something is going on. That's something that widgets give us some outlet there. If you're doing like one of these like a true, like, bought into the whole Apple stack sort of application, right? Where Apple Companion app you have maybe on the tablet or you have on the Mac, and that widget is also conveying that something's happening. And then you as a user have the opportunity to go, okay, actually, this experience would be 10 times better if I experience that in the headset now. That's a positive step in that direction.
It'd be nice if that Vision Pro app for the iPhone had like a second tab that's like, here are some of your apps, and they can like donate stuff to that app. And cause that app is the most useless Vision Pro app. It hasn't improved with visionOS 26. It's so bad, yeah.
I was so excited when there were rumors about the mobile companion app for the Vision, and I was so underwhelmed when I opened it for the first time, and I just it's a glorified magazine, I guess.
Like, it's basically, here are all the App Store stories of the week, and that's all we're giving you, basically.
Yeah.
Along with the serial number and stuff of your device. Sure.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that frustrate me in terms of content discovery. When you're out and about, still this is something that Meta, like, we can learn from them, and they don't get enough credit for some of the things that they did with I mean, it's a mess. They rebranded their thing 1,000 times. The Horizons, their mobile companion app is useful. It has utility. You can search. You can search for apps and find them.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, I can like look for apps in the visionOS iOS app. It's like, no, you actually can't. It's just you can download stuff that's being featured by Apple, and it's like, there you can look at your 3D video library. It's like, no, you could just look at the one movie they deemed advertised to you this week. It's like, oh, come on, guys, this is terrible.
So I'm excited about that. That would be a really, really big deal, to just have more discoverability of visionOS content when you are not wearing a headset. And there are 1,000 outlets for this to happen. And I mean, the good thing is it's all low-hanging fruit, in the sense that it's not an engineering marvel. Like, the funny thing, I guess, is like the things we are getting on visionOS are engineering marvels. They are like feats of technology and humanity, and things that we literally thought were impossible.
Like the personas are just like mind-boggling now.
Yeah, the personas in visionOS 26, it's mind-blowing technology. But
have you tried the fake any family members when you answer a call to see if they can tell?
Not in the past few weeks, but now you've seeded this idea in my mind, and I know what I'll be doing later tonight. And
yeah, because I honestly don't know if some people would notice or not, because it is getting very close.
Yeah. I think if I choose, so you can choose the background.
Yeah, that's the thing that would probably give it away. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you can use a photo from your photo library, I believe, and so
you make it look like you're at your house or whatever.
Yeah. So maybe I will try that this evening and
that'd
see
be interesting. Did you try the capture between beta 1 and beta 4? Because beta 4 made you redo it. Have you noticed any changes to it from that?
So I was about to do that before our call. I actually just finished it.
Yeah.
There was something, like, for me in the earlier betas. There's this like very funny thing that I think is like particular to like my face and the shape of my face. if my mouth is closed, my persona has my mouth slightly open, and
it must be the mustache. I think that blocks the cameras.
Something with the mustache, but I'm just like, this is so amazing, except my mouth is always slightly open.
Yeah, it has problems with facial hair of any significance. And you don't have a huge mustache, but it's like, I guess, enough to block whatever.
Yeah. I don't, but I did file a feedback about that.
So yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, but otherwise, mind-blowing improvements in the persona. Really, it was.
If only personas could be integrated in apps other than FaceTime.
Yes, yeah. So this is my big bugbear, and doing a game in particular, I really want to see, and am hopeful about visionOS that we will be able to do personas embedded in experiences untethered from FaceTime.
Because you don't always want to give away your phone number and email address when you.
Pseudo, not even anonymous, but like semi-anonymous experiences. Are really important, or to separate like your identity when you're playing a video game from your professional identity.
Some kind of game center integration or something, maybe.
Yes, that for me and what we are doing would be a really, really big deal. And and also hopeful that we'll get back to. I know photorealism is this amazing thing to aspire to, but also be able to do sillier avatars, more comical avatar. Again, for like a games context, I think it's a lot better in certain ways.
Totally.
And a lot not show up as your normal self to complete strangers on the internet.
And alternative versions of your persona would be nice if you have a formal one and a relaxed version. Like, I could have a suit and tie for my business persona.
Yeah, the beach version with.
Because I definitely changed my shirt before. Like, I did my persona capture. It's like, oh, I got a crappy shirt on. Let me get something a little bit more nicer.
Yeah, the tuxedo version.
Right.
The Santa outfit version. I saw some. One of the influencers in the visionOS Vision Pro community did a Santa persona.
That's pretty good. Oh, because if you wear a hat, if you wear a hat, does it capture the hat?
I believe so. I believe it would. Yeah. But they had the full Santa beard and everything, and it's pretty fun. Great. But being able to transition.
Okay, so you put the Santa beard, and then you don't actually have the beard, so that would work pretty cool. But multiple personas would be fun. I mean, it'd be cool if they could recognize your hair and change your hair color, even stuff like that.
Yeah. But the fidelity in visionOS 26, it is really amazing.
Yeah, no, it's impressive. What new APIs have you been most delighted with as you've been working on your updates?
Yeah. So I think we touched on the local share play capability. And I think like near term, it's a bit of a question mark if that's going to be a viable scenario, but long term, really excited about that. The spatial input devices capability, very excited about that.
Is there a scenario where you integrate the Muse into your tabletop game, like keeping score in some way? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're very keen to support inking for kind of like free form, like scorekeeping and like doing that nice synchronized whiteboarding experience. And also,
could you do tic-tac-toe with a shared game board?
Yeah. So we expose as a primitive really just an inkable surface that you can and have multiple of in a tabletop scenario, and then do all of those free form sort of games that people play growing up with tic-tac-toe.
Well, you could do a solo game of word search or something like that even, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Do you see yourself integrating that kind of stuff, like the gaming, like the crosswords and stuff into as a tabletop game? Because it's a different kind of game, but if you have the Muse, that could be interesting as a...
Yeah, absolutely something that we're excited about. And another area where we have been investing a lot of development resources recently is actually in terms of offering game creation capabilities to our players. So we released this thing that we call the Box Tree Builder, and it's a way for players to visually create their own tabletop games and then play them in table space. So if you're familiar with like Tabletop Simulator, this is kind of analogous to like letting people create their own mods. But something really exciting with like having the stylus support potentially is it would give players a way to prototype new tabletop games very, very quickly and have that like really fast, iterative paper prototyping feedback loop in this virtual context, so that they don't have to kind of make a mess with a bunch of like physical sheets of paper and like making their own tokens and things like that. But they could create these tokens virtually, and then something really delightful about it being a software experience at the end of the day is you could ink out, say, like a prototype of some card for like a new trading card game that you're prototyping, or some new board game that you're prototyping, and then do a generation of like using a diffusion model, using these new image generation models. You can enhance that to be like a high fidelity version of that thing. So that sort of workflow where you could go from like scratching out like a really, really rough hand-drawn version of a thing, and then pressing enhance and getting on the other side of that this beautiful, using say OpenAI's image model or Google's image generation model, this beautiful artifact that you could actually use in this game that you've created. We're really excited about that sort of workflow.
That'd be neat. I'm curious if that Logitech MetaQuest pen would actually pair with the Vision Pro and function the same. Has anyone tested that you know of?
Not that I know, but I really wonder, like, to what extent are those the same device?
Because they're slightly different. The Apple one has like 2 buttons, and the Meta one has like a strip, but they seem like almost identical. They're so close.
Yeah. I'm guessing.
And like, the other line that I caught my eye when I was talking with Devin the other day is that when it describes the PlayStation VR controllers, it said it kind of left it open to support other controllers. As well.
I saw that on their marketing page. Yeah, they just say, hey, these are spatially tracked controllers. Right now, there's only one, but
has someone tried to pair the Meta controllers to a Vision Pro? Because I wonder if that would work actually.
Yeah, I'm guessing not to date, but worth a try.
Yeah, because you can today pair. You can't buy them standalone, but you can. I saw a video. Someone did pair them to the Vision Pro, and it does currently work.
Yeah. In the betas, you can use the PlayStation VR 2. So I actually also before the call, I was looking on eBay, since you still cannot buy.
You cannot. It's infuriating. As a PSVR 2 owner, it's infuriating. If I break these things, it's a pain in the butt to try to fix them.
So I was looking at eBay listings and seeing how much it would cost me, because there are some things that we want to test.
Because I have so this September, whatever when they announce pricing, I'm so curious. It's like you might as well just wait for Black Friday for the PSVR 2 to be like probably $350 for everything.
Yeah, just get the whole bundle.
Because it's going to be like $150 for those controllers. I can't imagine it being much less than that.
Yeah, that's about right.
Right?
What I was seeing.
So it's like on eBay. 200 more and get the whole headset.
Yeah. And hey, I mean, the PSVR 2 also is a PCVR capable device.
Yep.
Now, so there's something enticing there.
It's a fun headset too, with the haptics in the headset, and the field of view is actually better than the Vision Pro, and it's a fun headset for gaming for sure.
Yep.
But anyways, be curious to see all that stuff with other devices hooking up to the Vision Pro down the line and seeing how that all plays out. Apple,
definitely.
I wonder if Apple would go out of its way to block Meta controllers just because they hate Meta.
Yeah. In terms of new APIs, new capabilities, volumes. Apple continues to add these wonderful enhancements to volumes. And the one that is coming with visionOS 26 that I'm personally really excited about, and it's like, again, it's a really subtle thing, but you can render content outside of the bounds of the volume. And a really big deal because right now, like you're kind of forced into this choice of like, do I use volumes, and then I'm trapped inside of the geometry of that volume, or do I do like a mixed immersive app, and then things can fly out of the volume and move around in your full 3D space.
And with the volume, you're able to are you able to have other apps open at the same time, and then mixed immersive means you're the only app open?
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. So every enhancement that they make to volumes, it gives us as developers a chance to allow for multitasking, and I think that is a really big deal. So like concretely, for our sort of experience, like we are not using volumes today, and we wish that we could, because then you can do multitasking, of course.
Yes. And like things like if you pull up like a help page from Safari in your game, it'll yank you out of the game, kind of thing. Too.
Exactly. Yeah. And so we are faced with this choice of like, do we make our own web views, for example, that we embed in our game to allow for multitasking for these like little things that involve web views, or do we use volumes, but then we have so many limitations imposed on us in terms of doing like more like custom hand gestures, and in terms of rendering content. And the rendering content thing that's a really big deal, that they're allowing you now to, so say we have some avatars that normally they would be outside of the bounds of the volume, because when like you imagine this tabletop, you're like, well, the bounds of the volume, I guess, are the bounds of that tabletop.
Yeah.
But sometimes you want things to like jump out of the volume or be slightly outside of the volume. So now they have this option that you can render some stuff outside of the volume and specify how far out you want to allow it to go. They have some bounds on it, like you can't go so far out that it's like the whole room.
Can you do wall detection to say put a scoreboard on a wall?
So you can do wall detection, but
like can you have like a window as well as volume basically in your app?
You can. You can combine those in volumes, and you can allow for multitasking with those two. The thing that's a little bit subtle and frustrating right now is like, so visionOS 26 has that wonderful capability where you as a user can choose to snap a window or a volume to a surface.
Yes.
But that's like an explicit interaction. Like you're dragging it over to that surface.
Yeah.
I would love, I do not believe there is something, maybe I miss it in visionOS 26 to support this, but I would love as a developer to be able to do that on behalf of the user, to be able to automatically spawn a window, spawn a volume, pin them directly to the table in front of them, pin the window with the scoreboard directly to the wall behind them, and still have like multitaskable windows and volumes. So as a developer, I can do this with a mixed immersive app. I control all the UI. You can't multitask, but I can stick objects all around the room if you give me like permission to access the room mesh. Like then you really have that unfettered access, and you can place stuff in world space however you want, and it can be magic in that sense. But then you lose out on the multitasking. So yeah, this is that point of tension that every improvement to volume give us a little more wiggle room to be like, okay, maybe my experience can run in volumes, and that's enough. On the flip side, there was this enhancement specifically for developers in visionOS in the settings app, and I'm sure you played with it, where you can do like, you can have multitasking with the screen sharing, like the remote desktop, the virtual
Mac
desktop.
virtual display. Yeah, because that was added in visionOS 2, I think, where you could have that running all the time, which is great.
Yeah, and I was so excited about that, and I was hopeful. I'm like, oh, maybe they're gonna kind of tweak the multitasking model a little bit and let us do like window-based apps alongside mixed immersive apps. That's still a dream.
Yeah, because I would love to be working. I thought you could do this, but I was wrong. In the last episode, I think I mentioned how you could use the alien environment in Disney Plus with other windows and stuff, and you cannot do that. You can move the Disney Plus window around wherever you want.
Yeah.
But you can't add another window in unless it's that Mac virtual display.
Yeah. So this is the thing I'm holding out hope for. It's tricky. It is tricky because like it's so like Meta has added support for this on the Quest. I think the hard thing is like you're basically creating this disparity. Like there are two worlds. There's like the window panel-based apps worlds, and those apps, like they might want to have capabilities to render 3D content too out in the world, right? As everything becomes more enhanced and more spatial and all that. And so like the moment they're doing that, they want to take over the space and become the main thing. But I feel like personally, like as long as the thing is running in a window and only running in a window, it should just like be allowed to multitask with these mixed immersive or fully immersive experiences.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm still holding out hope for something like that to come along. But yeah, in the meantime, more capabilities and volumes means more developers hopefully can choose that path. And so that is something that we're exploring now. For table space in particular, like one possibility for us is we have like this social lobby with the miniatures that you enter before you go into a game room, for example. We could totally have that experience running in a volume and allow for full multitasking and like give you a chance to like hang out in the lobby, waiting for your friends to join, for example.
Yeah.
And we could also even render the tabletop initially in a volume potentially, and then you as a player the chance to kind of like bust out of the volume and then transition gracefully into that mixed immersive experience. Like once you have to get the game going, or you want to be able to interact with things that are like outside of the bounds, or you just want more space to render stuff. So yeah, there are things that are now possible or more viable that we are very keen to explore for visionOS. But of course there is complexity, like inherent software complexity with adopting all of this and like doing that graceful transition. But at least we have like the hooks and the knobs exposed for us to do that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So in the last episode, I was talking with Devin, and we were bringing up AppleCare One towards the end of the episode, which is such a cool service for Vision Pro owners because you basically save $5 a month just off the top to get 2 more devices. Now, something I didn't fully realize, even though I knew when we record that, is as far as the devices it let me add, it said my MacBook Air, which doesn't have a screen attached to it right now because it's my headless MacBook Air, which I love. It said repair required, but that it implied that if I did repair this device, I could add it to AppleCare One. Now, the really interesting thing about that is I'm not the original owner of this broken MacBook. I bought this on eBay for like $200, $300 or whatever on eBay.
It's like a backdoor to add AppleCare.
Well, that's the thing. In the past, you had to be the original owner of a device to add AppleCare to it, right? But it seems that if the device is younger than 4 years old, and if you buy it on, say, eBay or whatever, you can actually add devices that you didn't originally you weren't the original buyer of to that AppleCare One plan, which is very interesting because I know Riley, who I've done podcasts with before, Riley of SleepPad, one of the reasons he bought direct from Apple for his Vision Pro instead of going to eBay was he's like, I want AppleCare on that sucker. But it seems I haven't done this, but it seems that by what I'm seeing, that you should actually be able to add a Vision Pro that you didn't buy originally secondhand to an AppleCare plan, which that's pretty interesting for a lot of people that are interested in make this investment. And it's like, I might actually go secondhand now that I can actually add AppleCare.
Especially with a rumored spec bump hardware revision, there might be a new flourishing market of secondhand Vision Pros.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see what trade-in versus resell is on the Vision Pro, and I'm not sure if I'll be getting one when it comes out just because the financial investment is so great with these things. I'm probably just gonna hang on to this and use it as long as I'm happy with it,
Yeah.
The thing that I'll be so tempted once they improve the screens inside of it with have better field of view. It's like, oh man, Apple, you're making it tough now because field of view is the one thing I want more of on this thing.
Yeah, I guess for me, if there were any changes to the facial interface, or the story around the whole developer strap thing.
Yeah, if they improve that stuff, that would be another major tempting.
A big deal. Yeah.
Yeah, if I could hook up my Thunderbolt hub to this thing when I'm at the desk, like, oh man, that'd be so cool. I could do podcasts from the Vision Pro at that point. Yeah,
you could plug in your studio quality microphone. That would be,
and you could get audio output from the Vision Pro at that point too. Because one of the things that prevents, like, one of the ways I used to record the iPad podcast was from the iPad.
Yeah,
I'd have a Zoom H6 hooked up to the iPad, so I get the iPad's audio that goes out into the Zoom, so I've got my guest audio that way, and then a good microphone plugged into the Zoom, so I got my audio that way. So if you could have audio out from the Vision Pro, you could do an old school podcast recording that way without any of Apple's local capture stuff that they decide not to put in visionOS 26.
Yeah.
The other thing I was bummed not to see in visionOS 26, so I noticed in the iPad beta, there's an option to add your name or multiple names, and your iPad will tell you when someone says that name around you. So if someone's yelling, Dad, Dad, or Tim, it'll actually notify you. Someone's trying to get so if you have, like, noise canceling on, you're doing coding and, like, zoned out, it'll actually, like...
I totally missed that.
Yeah, so that's in accessibility.
On Vision Pro.
Yeah, it's not in Vision Pro. It should be, because, like, if you're in a fully immersive environment, and have headphones on, noise blocking, like, it'd be so nice to have it, like, hey, someone's trying to get a hold of you right now. It'd be interesting if in the Vision Pro could even tell you, like, hey, downstairs, it can, like, sense where they're at in the room or whatever. But that's not there currently. But I saw that in the iPad beta. It's like, oh, that's super smart. It's built on the same technology it would do for, like, fire alarms and stuff like that, where it could alert you if something's going on. It has a name thing where you can have multiple names in there, which is cool.
That's a very cool concept. I totally missed that. Yeah. Just kind of looking of other things that I scribbled down on visionOS 26. Some things that we didn't talk about at all. This remote immersive space thing, this ability to basically do PCVR streaming from a Mac, is this whole new territory that I'm very keen to explore and very curious what will come out of it. I haven't touched that yet.
How is this happening? It's through the developer strap?
No, you can wirelessly render. So your Mac can be rendering the content for an experience on Vision Pro. So this is basically PCVR streaming. This is like
different from Mac Virtual Display. This is full.
Yeah.
This is full PCVR streaming.
Yeah, this is Apple announcing their first-class system framework for doing PCVR from a Mac to a Vision Pro streaming.
How did I miss this? Like,
I feel this is widely covered. Maybe because it's difficult to, like, get started with.
Well, it's so niche too. Like, you need a Mac that's beefy enough to do this. Like, imagine a MacBook Air would not work with this. You need a Mac Studio or something pretty advanced.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, how low end of hardware do you think this would work well with?
I mean, I guess like one of these M4 MacBook Airs. Like, there are some still like the GPUs in those.
They're good enough, yeah.
In many ways are more capable than what's in the Vision Pro. So you could conceive, I mean, there's all this overhead of, like, streaming and all that. But
that's true. It is faster than they've got decent RAM these days. Yeah.
Mac Studio, an M4 Max, M4 Ultra, anything like
the MacBook Pros,
a really big deal, and future hardware pending.
You know, you put a Mac Mini in your little backpack and you're off and running, right?
So my co-founder actually has been rocking that setup.
The Mac Mini, the portable Mac Mini,
yeah, and it's been working out okay.
Does he have a way to battery power the Mac Mini yet?
Well, we not yet, but I think there are some options there. I mean, you could use one of these large power banks, of course.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how far that stuff's come. And then, I wonder with that would there be a way to kick off the Mac VR experience from the Vision Pro where it, like, auto connects and does it with an app icon in the Vision Pro, or do you have to kick it off from the Mac?
Yeah, that I'm not 100% sure about.
Okay, because that'd be just an interesting thing to just like from a logistics perspective of where do you start and all that. And the controllers would be paired to the Mac or the Vision Pro.
Great question. Yeah. I'm not. Maybe both are.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, does Universal Control work in that way for the Vision Pro?
Yeah, if you were doing spatially tracked controllers, probably you would want those paired to the Vision Pro. But
because the Vision Pro is just getting a stream of the visuals. Does the Mac need the controllers? I don't know. Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah, a lot of question marks. I have yet to play with this at all. I've seen people tinkering with it, starting to explore.
Okay, yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah, if you know anyone that's like really getting into the weeds with that, I'd love to have them on the show if they're if you're able to reach out, that'd be interesting to dive more into that.
Have you spoken to the any of the folks who work on ALVR on the podcast?
No, I have not. Oh, they're the folks that they were the early birds trying to get that stuff working, right? Alex and all that stuff.
Yeah, you can do OpenVR, PCVR games streaming from PC to Vision Pro, and I mean, this is we'll see what I wonder if any of those folks have played with this at all.
Yeah, I'm curious.
But
very curious. So that's a new technology. Apple's interesting. That's very low key under the radar. You're the first person I've ever heard even mention that. That's in visionOS 26.
Yeah. And then there are a bunch of things that are across Apple's ecosystem, but still very exciting to be able to do on visionOS. So Widgets was one of those, but also this foundation models framework is a really big deal and really exciting thing.
For the Apple Intelligence stuff?
So this is a more developer facing SDK. So basically like every 26, like iOS 26, visionOS 26, iPadOS, the whole shebang, like they're all shipping with these small or like on a relative basis, small local language models.
Yeah, on-device stuffs. They're relatively small,
An on-device language model that is guaranteed to exist on every Apple device with the latest software that you, as a developer, just call and ask for things. Just ask for it to complete some text request, and you can have the shape of the response be like a certain structure. So this is a really big deal. Like I think there's been a ton of development and exploration, people doing all sorts of interesting things with like local language models on their machines, but there is a lot of friction and overhead as like an end user to install this onto your device. Like a lot of these are like multi-gigabyte files that you have to pull off the internet, even like get going and play with something. So the prospect of having like a language model that ships with every single Apple operating system that like as a developer you can just assume exists and is ready to go and is ready to start completing your request is very interesting.
It's cool.
In the games context, you can start to explore like NPCs that you can have like open-ended dialogue with and have those like conversations, have like a memory, have these sort of like one-off interactions that are more lively and engaging, and where you're not having to like go over to the internet to talk to these characters in a game where you might be playing offline. You might not have internet access. You might be literally on an airplane.
Right.
There's so much exciting stuff you can do. You can start to have again, I don't think like the foundation models framework is necessarily up to this task today, but you can do like local coding agents on a device. And on the Vision Pro, what this could mean is you can have like kind of this collaboration with one of these models where it's helping to spawn 3D objects and geometry and building out one of these like immersive environments alongside you just by you describing it using kind of building blocks that you might provide as a developer. So I think it is really exciting for a device like Vision Pro just because like when the language model outputs some tokens, that can be a really impactful thing because it can be completely changing your surroundings and what you see and the scenery around you and objects being spawned in front of you. So I think it's hard to overstate the possibilities. I am excited to see what people do with it. And then I mean, there's a long tail list of like exciting kind of silly things. Like there's this charting library that Apple has like invested a lot of energy into, like to do like data visualization stuff. And then it is a fun thing that like now they have 3D support, so you can do like these 3D interactive data visualization type thing, and it's available in the system framework. So I am excited to see what other developers do with that.
Cool. Well, anything else? Is that it?
I think that covers most of what's on my list. Cool. Yeah, so excited about this big controllers. Very hopeful that we'll continue to see more things for getting the word out about our software experiences across the App Store and mobile companion apps and widgets and all sort of thing like that.
Now, with the PSVR 2 controllers, how do you see it working? Do you see hand tracking being the better option in your game versus that with its just what the type of game it is, you know?
Yeah. So with table space, we really lean into the natural input with hands. I think given where visionOS is today and the Vision Pro, and it's quite an ask from a hardware standpoint, like to just get the device in the first place.
Right.
I think it's hard to assume that someone is gonna have controllers.
Yeah, it'll definitely be a secondary thing.
And so like anything that makes your experience a niche of a niche, it feels like you definitely want to still support hand input. And I think that is kind of the message, right? And part of why they didn't ship any sort of controller support. Should really have a baseline experience for hand input and eye input. But it is really exciting, and the precision is undeniable. Like spatially tracked controllers is so precise. Getting haptic feedback, wonderful thing in many game scenarios and productivity scenarios. So we intend to support it. And given that we've already done work like on the Quest side to support that, it shouldn't be a huge lift for us. But I think it's hard to / impossible in a way to like say no to hand input. And so I think like maybe we will start to see some Vision Pro experiences that only work with controllers, but for us that is not the goal.
No, I'd imagine not. But I'll be curious because you have 4 face buttons to work with and it's, I guess, some shoulder buttons. So you'll have to map that to different motions you do with your hands. And if you have less inputs than you do, and if you have less inputs in the controller than you do with your hands, that would be an interesting conundrum of how you map stuff to the controller if you don't have any more buttons to map it to.
Yeah. So for us, it's a pretty light lift. Like we see the buttons as conveniences to like open up the menu. We have this laser pointer interaction where you get to like point your index finger at objects.
That works really well with the
So cards, so we can map that nicely to a trigger interaction. Where you press the trigger button on a controller and it casts the laser out. So for us, we found you have a lot to work with, and it's more than we need. But I can games where like this was the limiting factor for them to exist at all is because they design it so with controllers in mind that like you just couldn't do input or you couldn't do locomotion without the controllers. And so maybe we'll see some experiences that just were unshippable on Vision Pro before that now finally can see the light of day because we have controllers.
And the PSVR 2 controllers, the haptics are so good. Like the triggers, like you can have these halfway points where it's almost 2 buttons. Like like the games that really involve like shooting guns and stuff. Like the triggers are so good with that stuff.
So I think it's a really big deal. But then it's just now it's a question of, will Apple ship their own at some point in time? Will there
We've been saying that for a decade with Apple TV. It's like, will they ship their own controller for this gaming, this TV console box thing that might play games? Yeah, but no.
Yeah, or support the Quest controllers, or will they support kind of other vendors?
For sure. Yeah. Well, cool. Where can people learn more about Table Space and I guess download and all that good stuff?
Yeah. So the company is called Boxtree, and so you can find us on X and other social media at Boxtree or Boxtree Inc. And then Table Space is available and searchable in the App Store on Vision Pro and on Meta Quest today, and more devices over the coming
XR
year.
At some point. Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah. And so the company, we're at boxtree.gg, and that kind of links out to all our other stuff, to our socials and to the games themselves. So maybe that's a good entry point. Yeah. Cool. So it's BOEREE.gg. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your time today.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on, Tim.
Well, that was my discussion with Ethan, all about visionOS 26 and a lot of other fun, just side tangents that I hope you enjoyed. If you'd like to support this podcast, you can do so over at visionpros.fm/Patreon or by subscribing in Apple Podcasts. With that, I'll talk with everyone again real soon.